Hi everyone, and welcome to the Women of Sweet Spine County, where we share what's happening inside and outside Sweet Spine County. And joining us today is my co-host Jude. And hey Jude, can you tell us how you came to be with us today?
Oh, thank you, Prairie Ann. I'd love to. Last week, I ran into Nicole and Paris while they were out gallivanting. When they were sufficiently recovered, they told me about your Quilty Pleasures episode, and I had to participate. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
No problem, Jude. I am so glad you're here. You know, they can be pretty difficult when they're here. They're not always that nice to me.
I don't understand how they couldn't be nice to you. You are just sweet as pie, Prairie Ann.
I know. I don't know what the deal is. But Jude, would you do the pleasure of introducing our first guest? I can't wait.
I would love to, Prairie Ann. It will be my pleasure. So ladies and gentlemen, our dear friends in TV land, please welcome Kathy and Deb. Kathy and Deb, it is such a pleasure having you here. We are thrilled to learn more about your enterprise. Why don't you start by telling us where you are from?
We're from Bird Island, Minnesota.
A nice little town.
1100. One set of stoplights. If you blink, you'll miss it. And we are at it. We own Gathering Friends Quilt Shop in Bird Island. But that's not what we're here about. We're here to talk about Quilt Minnesota.
Well, what is Quilt Minnesota?
Quilt Minnesota is like a statewide shop hop. It includes 74 of the finest quilt shops in the state of Minnesota, and you travel either by bus or your own car with a group of friends preferably, and you go from store to store.
Now, I can imagine it would be quite a task to cover the entire state. Is it divided up? How do they organize this?
The state's divided into 7 sections, and there's X amount of shops in each section. And you can go by section, and you have to hit how many shops?
8 shops in each section to qualify for some of the prizes.
Oh, so they're giving prizes.
Woohoo! Great prizes.
So what kind of prizes are they giving away? Do the quilt shops go together and do like a grand prize, or does each store, is it kind of like a scavenger hunt in each store to sign up for a prize?
The grand prize, if you hit all 7 sections and you hit 8 stores in that section, in each of the 7 sections, is a trip for 2 to Alaska.
Oh, wow. You girls don't mess around.
No, but each section also has their own agenda going on. We can offer prizes in our section. We can have incentives. There's all kinds of fun things going on. This year we're giving away a fat quarter bundle of fabric. Each shop, you can do so many things, and we're also having a scavenger hunt for the under 18 quilters, because there's really no junior prize. So if you're 7 and up, you get a sheet at the first shop, and then you have to find 2 things at each shop, and you just check it off your list.
That's fun.
And we mark it, and then at the end they get drawn for prizes.
So now
That is clever.
It is very clever. Does this all take place on like a weekend, or what's the time frame that you have to do the shop hop?
It starts Friday, August 3rd, and goes through Sunday, August 19th, I believe.
Yes.
Is that-
Okay, so you have sufficient time
There's
to get
3
around.
weekends and 2 full weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the shops are guaranteed to be open certain hours,
Yes,
so people
yes.
know when they can come.
We do have a flyer, and you guys can pick it up at your local quilt shops, but it's sometimes hard to figure out what the shop hours are for each shop. The entire shop hop has to be open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. And then Sundays, noon to 5. Some have extended hours, like we're open 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. And so we're open an hour earlier, some stay open longer. So it depends on the shop and the
I
section.
love the idea of an hour earlier, because the shop hoppers can get going and on
they
the road.
do. You go to the shop door and they're waiting.
And if people plan out their routes ahead of time, they could actually start at the shops that open early and end at the shop that stay open late. Yes.
And that works out really well.
Were there any specific product lines, patterns, things that were developed for this Great Minnesota Shop Hop?
Absolutely. There was a line of fabric made just for this Quilt Minnesota Shop Hop. And we have some of the samples that we brought along from that, so we'll show you those.
Fantastic! This is fascinating, but this is a lot of information for my brain to hold all at once. Is there a website or some more information we can find out about Quilt Minnesota?
Absolutely. There's a website. You can go to Quilt Minnesota's website, and it will tell you what all the incentives are for each section. They have a blog, and you can hook on the different sections' blogs, and you can also go to the Quilt Minnesota blog, and all those connections and links are on that website. And it has everything you need to know, so you don't even have to think about it.
Well, I can't wait to get my hands on some of this fabric right here. I'd love to take a look at it, and this is the special design, and they've had a history. Quilt Minnesota has had a history of designing fabric.
Every year.
The specially designed fabric for Quilt Minnesota, is that available at all of the Quilt Minnesota Shop Hop shops?
Yes, every shop that participates in the Shop Hop, you can get it at their store.
And it's available when?
It's available August 3rd. You can come and shop early and look at the fabric, pre-order what you need and what you like, and then we'll set it aside for you, but it cannot leave the store until August 3rd. And Wyndham was the designer this year.
Is the quilt shop in Sweet Swine County, are they in on the Shop Hop this year?
Unfortunately, no, they didn't join. There are 74 other shops that you can go to, but Sweet Swine County wasn't one of them.
We're not even on the map.
We do have to go outside. Well, you know what? I'm just dying. We've been looking at this pile of quilts and not being able to see it. Can we see what you brought along today?
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. These are some of the projects that we pre-made from the fabric that we've gotten.
First of all, when you go to a shop, you're going to get a 5-inch square from each shop that you stop at, and also you'll get a pattern for a 9-inch finished block. And this was our star that we did for the Quilt Minnesota, and each shop is going to have a little different flavor. Cool. And what we do is we send a copy to, or a block to Sue Poser from Gruber's, and they make it into one large quilt, and then we give it away to, one year it went to the governor.
And it's fun. This is a flavor of our shop, but you'll see some at each shop. Hopefully at each shop they'll have something designed from the fabric already.
We have a few.
So
got this little one?
You gals have been busy.
We have been really
so do
busy.
You sleep?
This is a big one.
Part of
That's
it.
very cool.
Yep. This Deb went outside the line for. She used the panels in the line, but she went to Bally's and boutiques, which is really it's just a fun. This is probably one of the most popular ones that people have liked.
Yeah, this absolutely looks like Minnesota 10,000 Lakes.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
10,000 Lakes quilt.
Yep.
And
So the panels are from the Shop Hop fabric, and everything else is.
Deb, about how long, for people that are non-quilters, how long would it take to complete a project like that? I mean, for me, it would be years and years and years, but for someone like you, how long does that take?
you could do the top in a day and
Sure,
then,
there you go.
Really?
quilt it
In several days.
in a few days, or send it off for somebody else to quilt
Exactly.
it.
Then it goes even faster.
Yes.
This
This
is
is
called
another
He's
one.
Gone Wild.
Yep.
Charming.
That we designed specially around the line of fabric. So when you go to the shops, you're going to see a lot of shops that have designed ones specifically with their shop in mind and the flavor of their shop. So
Now,
that's why it's so fun to go to the whole and do the whole state.
Yeah. How about if you love quilts, but you don't have time to quilt or you don't like to quilt, can you just buy something like this at your store's already done? If you want to take the easy way out?
No.
No?
No, you can't.
You
But we'll
have to be
inspire you.
very,
We'll
very
inspire
nice
you to
to
do it.
people who quilt.
The line is fun because it goes, you know, you've got the reds and the dark plaids, and then in another runner that we showed, you've got the light greens and the tans and the light blues, and then the Bally one that Deb did. So there's just so much you can do with it.
Oh, it is so versatile, and I love that some of them have a very cabiny feel to them. Others have a more
fun little
modern
purse.
look.
Yes.
Now that, I recognize that's the fabric. That is the fabric.
That is the fabric, yes.
in there. Yes.
The majority of our projects, except for the Bally one, do
Okay.
have the
All
fabric in
The
it.
new fabric. from
Yes.
this year.
Yeah.
So who chooses the designer that gets to design the fabric for each year for the Shop Hop? How is that chosen?
We have a section leader. Each section has a leader, and they meet together with Sue Poser, who started this back several years ago. And they have all their submissions, and they go through and they, as a group, decide.
who gets to do the designing. Awesome.
It's always fun. It's like this unveiling in the fall
Yeah.
to see what the
Yeah,
line will look like,
exciting.
because every year it's different.
Jude, I'm thinking about, I want to start quilting. Would you go on the Shop Hop with me?
I'm thinking road trip, but how are we going to cover all of this territory?
In such a, yeah. Do you girls have any ideas? Do you have like
Buses.
a mode of travel for us?
Buses. We
Easy.
have 6 in our section, I believe. 6 different buses, and each of the sections actually, I think,
Okay,
has
so again,
buses
we can
that
just go to your website, and then that'll
Yes.
tell us how to get connected and sign up
yes,
to get on a bus,
absolutely.
and where to find the bus, and everything.
Pick the section you want to start with
Okay.
and see what they have for buses and just go from there.
Kathy and Deb, thank you so much for coming over to Sweet Swine County and telling us all about Quilt, Minnesota.
And remember, audience, we share small town stories with big town attitude, for we are
The Women of Sweet Swine County.
Bye bye.